So the last time we talked about the NBA and their situation this year, things were not good. Ratings were way down, which they'd from last year, which were way down from the previous 10 years. Play on the court was bad. Way too many threes taken. Way too many threes missed. Bad defense, load management. Wondering whether or not certain players even want to play or not. Just a lot of things are going wrong, and it was showing up in the ratings. And I said at the time, and I'll say it again, you can't really blame a ratings fall like that on one year. That's a culmination of years and years of bad play and play that people don't want to watch, and a combination of both. Coming together and people in droves finally just saying, I can't take this anymore. I can't watch this crap anymore. And a little while later, things are actually worse. Ratings continue to fall. They've kind of leveled out in a very, very bad area, as far as just kind of what you can expect on a nightly basis for who's going to tune in on nationally televised games. Like I said, people they're just sick of it. All these years of all the stuff I talked about. I mean, there's just so many factors, and people have finally tuned out, and it's time for major, major overhauls in the association for sure. Because this is not a model that can continue. This is not a trend that can continue. Advertisers are going to want to back out, and I'm sure the television corporations, the television people that have signed for this very expensive media deal have to be saying, "What the hell did we just do?" But yeah, things are worse. Scoring is still high, which is not a good thing because there's no defense being played. Recently, I forgot who they played. I just looked it up and I've done forgot who the teams were, but they set a record for the most missed threes in a single game, and I think the Celtics were involved possibly, but I could be wrong about that. Don't quote me on that. We don't want to watch teams just taking a bunch of threes, jacking up a bunch of threes, and missing most of them. The three-pointer used to mean something, and Steph and Curry really took it to another level. And unfortunately, people tried to copy him, and of course, the analytics showed, hey, everybody needs to be taking three-pointers unless you're taking a dunk or a layup, within 3 feet of the basket, because it's about the same. It's close to the same percentage, and you'll get an extra point for every shot made if you take it beyond the three-point arc. And unfortunately, I don't want to blame it on him, but he really opened up Pandora's box unknowingly and really hurt the league. The three-pointers are not good. There's just no mid-range game anymore. And it's funny, the players that seem to be dominating the game the most right now, the players that are doing the best, obviously Nikola Jokic, he's looking like he's going to win his 4th MVP in 5 years, or should at least, based on his traditional stats as well as his advanced stats. The guy who's probably going to win it, which is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's on the Oklahoma City juggernaut. He's doing an amazing job. I think voter fatigue is going to kick in, and they're going to give Shai Gilgeous-Alexander of the Oklahoma City Thunder the MVP. That's what I think is going to happen, and especially after Shaq's little tirade last year. I like the big guy, but I thought he was off base on that one. But Shai's going to get his. I think he'll get it this year, and he's deserving. I mean, he's deserving of being lauded. I mean, I think it's Nikola Jokic's this year because his team is just not good. The Oklahoma City Thunder looks good as a team. They look like a very, very good team. The Nuggets, not so much. They paid a lot of money for Jamal Murray to not produce much. Definitely not produce $50 million a year. So, but at least, unlike Joel Embiid, he's been to the finals and won a finals. He's actually been to the conference finals a couple times too, outside of that. So, you should give him credit for that. But you got that, and of course, there's still that question of do players even want to play? LeBron just took a very bizarre 1 or 2 week leave of absence, excused leave of absence per the Lakers. Not like they're gonna. I mean, obviously he can pretty much do whatever the hell he wants with that organization. He's got the Lakers by the tail. They'll do whatever he says. I hate to laugh about it because it's a very serious matter involving a lot of people being traumatized badly, physically and mentally. But the prevailing sentiment there is that he lawyered up for the all the Diddy stuff that's fixing to happen, because he's been very much connected to P Diddy. And he was on record saying there's no party like a Diddy party. As it turns out, these Diddy parties involve them drugging men and women of age and minors, and like I said, just committing, in my opinion, the worst thing you can do to somebody. If you murder somebody, at least they don't have to live with it every day. The stuff they're doing, they have to live with for the rest of their lives, and they never get over it. So, but yeah, there's that. And, he's either about to turn 40 or he just turned 40, like me. But he said before the season he was going to play every game. That didn't even make it to the new year. Didn't make it to Christmas. Michael Jordan's last year in the league with the Washington Wizards was the year he turned 40 in February. He played all 82 games. He played 80-plus games of all the seasons where he was actually on the team on the roster on opening day. I think all but 3 or 4 times in his entire career. He did not miss games. His second year, he obviously had to miss a lot of games because of a broken foot, but outside of that, he just did not miss games. I think he had a couple he had to miss because he punched Reggie Miller in the face, which a lot of people enjoyed at the time. I like Reggie a lot now, but at the time I really, really did not like him, and I was very happy that Michael had done that. But that's, like I said, that's the distant past. We got to talk about now. And now, I mean, they're still relying too much on old star power of people that we really didn't like all that much on a personal level to start with. People like KD and LeBron, who made some moves in their career that just destroyed the competitive balance of the league, and is now hurting. It's now hurt a lot because now everybody wants to team up, and it's just, and like I said, that's part of it too. You're just like, okay, who's going to team up with who? Who's going to say, all right, I can't do it alone. I can't do it like Nikola Jokic did in 2023. I can't do it like Giannis Antetokounmpo did in 2021. I can't do it like Luka almost did last year, but that Celtics is just a juggernaut. I can't do it like Dirk did in 2011 or Kobe did in 2009 and 2010. I can't just have, one other all-star and, basically my team. I have to have, a super duper star, a Hall of Famer with me. Or a Hall of Famer in their prime, sacrificing for me. So that's a big part of it too. There's just, there's a few teams that have the players that matter, and the rest of the league, there's just so much of the league that's pretty much irrelevant. My Charlotte Hornets, they have LaMelo Ball. He's doing an amazing job this year, but it's the Charlotte Hornets, so people aren't going to pay a lot of attention, and that's unfortunate because LaMelo deserves a lot of credit coming from that situation with his father and big brawler brand and that family circus, and to see him emerge from that as one of the most exciting young players in the league. That's something that should be getting a lot of attention. But at the end of the day, the Hornets are a very bad run organization, a very, very badly run organization. Hurts my Tar Heel heart to say that because obviously Michael Jordan's been their owner for a long time, and I don't know what his status is now, honestly. That's how far of the loop I am with that. But, it's not going to get that attention. You got a few teams that are going to get all the attention, and they're trying all this new stuff now. They've tried this like in-season NBA tournament. I guess it's now called the NBA Cup. Was it the Commissioner's Cup last year? Whatever it was last year. The Lakers won it last year, and they doused themselves in champagne and act like they won the championship, and then had a first-round exit and a gentleman's sweep, losing in 5 games. The Milwaukee Bucks won it this year with Giannis, and Damian Lillard's on there now. He's kind of on the backside of his prime, a little bit past it, but he's still doing a very good job and seems to be settling into his role as a second fiddle to a generational talent in Giannis. And they won the cup. They've been doing very, very well. They got off to a horrible start this year. They're doing good now. Still got Doc Rivers though. He's got to worry about. Especially they get in a tight series. That's when he seems to seems to do his worst. So, but yeah, they did it right. They didn't spray themselves with champagne. They're like, yeah, we're going to appreciate this moment, this little thing we won, and we're going to treat it just like that, a little thing we won. And, now we got to play Cleveland, I think, today, if I'm not mistaken. Today's Friday. I think they're playing Cleveland today, which is going to be a big game. And, they're a lot more worried about that than they are about winning that cup. So that's something they're trying to do to get interest. And that's the thing. They're having to do their best to get people to actually get the players to care about playing in the middle of the season. Your professionals getting paid millions, tens of millions of dollars a year to go out there and play. I mean, and keep your body in shape. Watch films, stay, stay, just stay in shape. And your careers don't last long. You're not like the rest of us in corporate America. We have to go to work. We have to be in condition to work, which doesn't have to be nearly the conditioning they have to go through, but we have to do it till we're in our 60s or 70s. Like I said, I'm 40 and been doing this for a while, and I'll be doing it for a lot longer. There's no end in sight, really. There's no light at the end of the tunnel. It's out there somewhere, but good Lord, am I going to live that long? I hope so, good Lord willing, but that's a lot can happen. And it's just like, gosh, you got this tremendous opportunity and you can't be bothered to play. And that's a problem. That's a problem. And that's a big reason their ratings are down. If it's not important to you, if I'm watching you play and it's not important to you, then why should it be important to me? That's a question that I think a lot of us are asking ourselves, and we don't have an answer other than it's not important to me and I'm going to find something else to watch. So that's one thing they've got to do. They got to, find a way. They got to eliminate guaranteed contracts. There's a rumor out there that they're going to try to do that. The players are going to fight back, and there might be a lockout. They might lose a year, but that could probably be the best thing possible for the NBA because they're in such bad shape. They really are. And they're, like I said, they're trying to learn from the past. This election that just happened, Donald Trump got reelected, and I'm not here to talk politics, but I just am here to talk about the fact that NBA players have been open about their politics in the past and do not like Donald Trump. They've made their feelings very, very clear, and they turned away a lot of people. They turned off a lot of people. It seems like they recognize that. You didn't hear very much about them after this election. Didn't hear a ton during the lead up to it, but afterwards, they pretty much kept a very, very low profile about it. Unlike 2016 when they had a meltdown and obviously a lot was going on in 2020, so they didn't really have a chance to. But they're very, very open and being happy that he was out of there, and just other political issues. Steve Kerr going off on the Second Amendment, and they've gone away from that for the most part. That's the exception rather than the rule now. So it looks like they've learned from that, but there's still a lot of residual damage from that. Because I think even people that would agree with their politics are like, I don't want to hear about that. Sports is my escape. Athletes who want to be seen as more than an athlete, well, that's fine, but, we don't want to watch more than a game. We just want to watch a game. So do that at your own peril. If you want to be more than an athlete, do it off camera or off the show or outside of your press conferences. Hold your own press conference for your own foundation and see how that goes. Spoiler alert, it's not going to go very well. Like I said, that's another reason. Defense, like I said, is just... it's not a priority, but you also have to blame the league for legislating it out. So many people just go... If they don't have a good shot, they don't think, they just go barrel into the rim and basically just throw their bodies into people and get bailed out with a foul call by somebody just standing there or taking proper defensive position. We'll call that the Aaliyah Boston Memorial foul because she got called so many fouls standing there defending properly, and somebody just barrels into her, and it's a foul on Aaliyah. So we'll call it that. And so the league has to fix that. I wouldn't mind seeing them bring back hand checking, to be honest with you. You don't want to see it get physical to the point of like when the bad boys were there and turning off a lot of people with too physical to play. But there's definitely a middle ground because now we're way far to the other side. And maybe it's just nostalgia speaking, but I'd almost rather watch a Bad Boys Pistons game than this crap they got on now. Of course, I'd rather watch paint dry than some of the crap they got on now. So, They really, really need to take a hard look at the league and figure out how to drastically overhaul the model, basically. And like I said, I think a lot of that's got to start with the players. You have to have the players care. You have to eliminate guaranteed contracts, and take a lot of the power out of their hands. They gave the players all the power in the world, starting with LeBron and his situation with the Heat, where he basically colluded with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh to go over there and tried to collude with Chris Paul, if I'm not mistaken, or some other people. Carmelo, I think. Maybe it was Carmelo. He admitted it, and the league did nothing. They gave them all this power, and look where it got them. I mean, it got them from some amazing ratings and amazing cultural relevance to who cares. All these great young players are coming up, and how many people even know who Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is? That's pathetic, because he's one of the best out there and one of the most promising players, and people couldn't pick him out of a lineup. So that's not a good thing. So they got to do that. They need to start marketing, the young stars. They need to make the game more physical. And like I said, I know there's a balancing act there, but if it gets too physical, you can start dialing it back some. And, be a little quicker with the whistle, but not super quick like they are now. I mean, sometimes it sounds like they're blowing the whistle before contact's even made. So the NBA's in trouble, and I hope they get out of it. I have no interest in seeing the NBA fail. A lot of my best memories are watching Michael and Kobe, and a lot of those players. I liked Hakeem. I really liked watching those players. Gary Payton, I always liked watching him. He just had that swagger and that attitude that I loved. I mean, he played defense and he talked trash and he backed it up, so I loved it. So, they're in trouble. This is a slide they cannot continue, and it shows no real signs of stopping. I know I said the ratings have kind of leveled out, but I mean, when you're in this kind of a free fall, you might stop for a minute, but you have to wonder when that ledge is going to fall out, and even more people are going to bail, because people are bailing for a reason, and it's not because there's something more interesting out there. I mean, there is something more interesting out there called Caitlin Clark, but her season was, I believe, over before the NBA season started, or there might have been a slight overlap. So she's not out there taking views away from you. The new interest in women's college basketball is not showing beyond Caitlin Clark. Juju Watkins and Paige Beckers are not drawing ratings or attendance. I hate that for them. I would love to see them, do as well as Caitlin did, but we'll have to see. So, so my take on that, the NBA needs to. The time is now. It's time to blow it up and start over. The last video I made the argument the NBA is not dead or dying, but to me they have contracted a definite illness that if it goes untreated for another year, they will be in the process of having a terminal illness and not being able to go from there. So that's my take on that. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll talk to you later.